One thing that's interesting about the gang races is that they involve a sort of evocation of bet, of gambling. If you lose, you forfeit your machine. There are prizes and there are losses. This is a rougher form of gambling, less institutionalized than the casino. The similar idea. Afterwards, we get a sort of gambling that involves death. The aim of Michael Chain's gang seems to mainly be destroying Falcon and killing him. This is obvious, but F-Zero is never about just racing. There is always some sort of a prize involved beyond the winning and losing. You win a trophy or you win a life, someone's life. Black Shadow exists in a screen that is behind Falcon's lab. In a sense, it's almost like the shadow is behind the lab, or the face of the lab, since the alley Falcon walks into is a base located just behind, as far as we can see from the TV screen where Shadow was being. Falcon walks right into its shadow, into the shadows of the alleyway. What we see perhaps is Falcon's process of walking into his shadow deeper and deeper. This shadow seems to have something to do with the gambling issue, since Falcon's number evokes luck in gambling. Number 7 does. But also, the circle we're trapped in, the initial 6 stages we're mirroring, are all mirroring around a central level, the gambling place. So gambling place is central to this issue of shadow or of mirroring, of projected stuff on the screen. In a way, Falcon is merely a gambler. We're involved in a systemic money-making from the suffering of others, but disguised here as gang racing. They're there as fancy, elegant, institutionalized money-making. So in one place it's gang racing, in the other as fancy, sort of, institutionalized gang racing. But in both cases, some sort of a kind of betting that leaves life, that uses life as its bet. Okay. So what happens is that we enter a bar, a casino palace. I've mentioned before that the first person to greet us is Jack Levin, young promise of F-Zero. Sylvan Nielsen, old legend, kind of the opposite of a young F-Zero promise, is the one to lead us out to say goodbye. He makes Falcon dress as a clown or as a video game person, since he is called Famicom now, the console. Nielsen stands in front of the screen with a coin in his hand, as if he's playing a video game. This is a very personal impression, but I want to express it. Like he's staring at the screen to follow the race, to see if he wins. But in order to even participate in this race watching, to have an avatar on the screen he can support and put his confidence in, he needs a coin which he offers like a god to the screen, like a sacrifice. It reminds me of putting a coin in an arcade cabinet, how the coin is necessary to even play the game, to even stand at the screen and be able to offer a character to the game. Nielsen is even electricity, since his jacket has a shape that's a lightning bolt, a bolt of electricity running through his identity. That is what Falcon encounters later, and it's what powers the console up. The money that makes the console work is lightning or electricity. This is what Jack Levin is too, an electricity man, or the other lightning person Falcon meets, who, in fact, he meets before meeting Nielsen, right? So Falcon first meets Levin, then meets Nielsen. He is flanked by 2 lightning areas, Levin and Nielsen. The first and last persons he meets in the bar, the young and the old, and the only 2 people in F-Zero with lightning motifs on their clothes, at least that I can remember now. So, then Falcon confronts the center of electricity, the place where electricity comes from, later. I find it cool too that the bar scene is the scene that reverses time, especially since the bar scene is first of all the scene that most directly exhibits time as it is, moving from young to old as linear line. It's the most linearly line time moment. However, after it, after young grows to old and presumably life is over, life seems to reverse itself back into gang, Circle Palace, and Black Shadow. I think what reverses time is something to do with video games and Falcon's transformation into a console. Something in the bar reverses time.